Youssef had always been a dreamer. From the moment he could read, he would lose himself in books, traveling to distant lands and discovering worlds beyond the narrow alleyways of his old Medina neighborhood in Fez. His family lived in a modest home, their days filled with the scent of fresh mint tea and the distant echoes of the call to prayer from the ancient minaret nearby. His father was a carpenter, crafting intricate wooden doors that tourists admired but rarely understood. His mother, a seamstress, spent hours sewing traditional djellabas, each stitch a silent prayer for her son's future. They both believed in Youssef's potential, even when life's hardships made it difficult to afford his education. The struggles of learning school had never been easy for Youssef, not because he lacked intelligence, but because circumstances always seemed to work against him. The school was far, and every morning he walked nearly an hour through the crowded streets, dodging bicycles and donkeys pulling carts. The classrooms were overcrowded, sometimes with 40 students squeezed into a single room, their voices blending into a chaotic symphony of ambition and distraction. Despite these challenges, Youssef was determined. His love for mathematics was unmatched, and he spent every free moment solving equations in the margins of his notebooks. His teachers noticed his dedication and encouraged him to participate in a regional mathematics competition. But there was a problem. He needed a scientific calculator, and his family couldn't afford one. Determined not to give up, Youssef took on small jobs after school, helping his father in the workshop and running errands for the local cafe. It took weeks, but he finally saved enough dirhams to buy the calculator. Dreams and doubts. When the day of the competition arrived, Youssef traveled to Rabat, the capital, for the first time in his life. The city amazed him. The towering buildings, the rushing taxis, and the sprawling boulevards were unlike anything in Fez. He felt small, insignificant even, among the other competitors who spoke fluent French and carried expensive laptops. Doubt crept into his mind. Was he truly good enough? Had all his hard work been for nothing? But then he remembered his mother's words. You do not need wealth to be great, you need determination. With renewed confidence, he walked into the exam hall, took a deep breath, and began answering the questions. The turning point days passed, and Youssef returned to his daily routine, unsure if he had done well. Then one afternoon, his teacher rushed into the classroom, beaming. Youssef, she called, you won! The entire class erupted in applause, but Youssef could hardly believe it. He had not only placed first in the competition, but had also been offered a scholarship to study engineering at a top university in Casablanca. His parents wept tears of joy. For the first time, his father put down his tools, embracing Youssef with a pride he had never openly expressed. His mother prepared a feast, filling the house with the rich aroma of tagine and freshly baked bread. A new beginning life in Casablanca was different. The university was massive, the professors strict, and the competition fierce. But Youssef worked harder than ever, balancing classes, part-time work, and the constant pressure to succeed. There were moments of loneliness when he longed for the warmth of his family's home, the sound of his father's hammer, and the taste of his mother's harira soup. But every time he felt overwhelmed, he reminded himself why he was here, to change his future, to prove that a boy from Fez, with nothing but determination and a love for learning, could rise above his circumstances.